Welcome to another team training. This is a Team Prosperity weekly team training that goes into different components of the business model, as well as other areas and topics that will help you grow on a professional and personal level. Remember, entrepreneurship is not a career, it's not a profession, it's a lifestyle. So you need to learn how to live entrepreneurship, which means that you are dedicated to learning and then implementing what you learned into your business. Before we get into this week, I just want to review very quickly last week what we did. We did a couple of weeks of LinkedIn training. We did the past couple of weeks, we did like an intro. And then this past week, we did advanced strategies. So when you are thinking about social media, and I've said this before, if I could only have one social media platform that I got to use and I had to discontinue all the rest, it would be LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great way to build partners. It's a great way to go out and acquire clients. It's a great platform to do business on. So it can be one of two things. It can be either an incredibly valuable asset for you, or it can be totally worthless. And the differentiating factor is going to be how you approach it. Do you value it? Are you putting time, energy, resources into your profile, into messaging, into connecting, into engaging, into posting, doing all the things that the algorithm will reward you for? If so, it's not going to go 0 to 100 in a week, but it will build over time. And through that building, you'll see that you get clients, you get partners, and you get brand awareness. So if you haven't seen those are in the library to check out. And this week, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break from LinkedIn training and we're going to really go into performance. So this is how to organize and optimize. This is structuring your day and your week. You know, your days equal your weeks, but you have to look at each day as well as the week in total for high performance in our business. There are low performers, there are average performers, there are high performers. What you want to do for yourself and what you want to do for your organization is either weed out the low performers and the average performers, or teach them how to become high performers. If you do that, what you'll see is the retention of your agency is sky high, and the production of your agency will be there as well. So the goal for today, I want to equip you with an efficient, repeatable time management system that aligns with income producing activities. Those are IPAs that we always talk about and support both business growth and personal productivity. You will see that in your business, whether it's professional goal, personal goal, it doesn't really matter. In life in general, if you have a goal, it has to have a plan of action and execution of that plan of action. Part of that execution and plan is going to be time management. Your calendar, and this is so important because what happens as an agency builder, you will find that people come in, they get real excited about the business. Remember, the emotional cycle of change, that's uninformed optimism. That's like a candy high. I'm excited about this, I'm going to do it. But what happens? Well, it doesn't happen as quickly as they thought it would. So we need to work on helping people organize themselves and organize their time so they don't fall into this trap. What is the trap? Well, after you've been in for weeks or a few months, there's not much happening on your calendar because you haven't made it so. And so what happens is that white space on your calendar is an absolute defeating, crushing experience. You're looking at your calendar, there's not much going on. Oh, I don't think this business is for me. I can't do it. Nothing's happening. So your calendar is a mirror of your priorities. If I looked at your calendar right now, if each one of you guys pulled up your calendar, I'd know exactly what you care about, or at least what's getting the majority of the bulk of your time. The truth is, we all get the same cycle, the same 24 hours. The difference is how we organize, focus, and execute. In our business, organization doesn't just help, it multiplies your results. So today, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a proven practical system to structure your week and your days in a way that helps you sell more, serve better, and grow your agency faster while avoiding the burnout. That's what we want to do. We want to grow, we want to scale, and we want to avoid burnout, and we want to teach other people how to do exactly the same. Today will serve as an introduction to this. And once again, if you guys like this, you want more training on this, just let me know and we'll continue on. If I don't get much feedback, we'll move on to something else. So these are the three core time pillars for our business. So you need to learn what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So this right here is the triangle. And that triangle consists of 3 points. Everything we do in our entire business fits into three categories, three big points. Number one, and the most important, IPAs, prospecting, calls, social media outreach, appointments, demos, follow-ups, income producing activities. If we don't have income producing activities, what do we not have? We don't have income. If we don't have income, we don't have a business. We're not going to devote our time to something that's not going to give us a return. That's why the income producing activities, the uncomfortable stuff that you probably won't want to do, is at the top of the pyramid. Absolutely imperative and important that you get that done. The next point is the client partner support. Remember, onboarding, relationship building, installations, education. Your clients are going to need help and your partners are going to need help. The rule of thumb is that a partner recruitment does not stop when the partner onboards and comes in. It's about a 90-day process. Now, if they're not willing to meet our expectations, we're not going to give them much time. But if they are, you have to understand that the recruiting process doesn't stop. It continues for about a 3-month process until hopefully they become independent and they're able to do some things on their own. And the third point, you guys, is training and development. This is product mastery, marketing, skill building, time management. Uh, these are all three important, but the absolute most important thing that's going to be a make or break, live or die in your business is the top. That's the IPA. You want to make sure that most of your time each week is dedicated to the IPAs because that's what pays the bills and builds momentum. If you can't pay your bills, if you're not making money, you're not going to be able to build momentum. Why? Because you begin what we've learned about before, which is panic management. And panic management, nothing good comes from that. You're just throwing things against the wall to see if anything will stick in a desperate and kind of like a last kind of Hail Mary attempt to save your business. This is your weekly planning framework. Remember, preparation, planning, that's important, but then the execution of that plan that includes time management is also very important. So here we want to start our week, not on Monday, but on Sunday. Winners don't wing it, you guys. They plan their week before their week begins. If you come into the Monday and you're sitting there with your coffee and you're looking around, scrolling on Facebook or whatever, and you're not sure what to do, unfortunately, I got some bad news. You've already failed the entire week. So we need to get into what we call your Sunday setup or your Monday mapping. What is it that you're going to do this week? What are the important things? All the things mapped out. If you go into Monday with a well mapped out week, day, coming from that Sunday setup, what you're going to find is the week is going to be better, more productive, and more profitable. So here's what we want to do with the weekly ritual. You want to review last week. What did you win? Where were the gaps? Where were the opportunities missed or lost? And then you want to look ahead, appointments, priorities, key projects, and then you want to align your schedules with your goals. If you have the goals and if you have the schedule that aligns with your goals, it's a lot easier to execute and get to those goals. If you just have goals without any type of schedule, with any type of plan of action or execution, that is just a wish. Lots of people wish, those don't really come true. What is going to come true is mapping out a legit path to get to your goals. So this is where we want to kind of break it down. We want to introduce, focus, flex, and buffer. So what we introduce time blocking, and we have an agency in motion video that strictly goes into time blocking. If you need to review that, that's in the YouTube channel and in our Facebook group. So time blocking is consistent with focus, flex, and buffer. So what are the focus blocks? Absolutely no distractions. This is revenue work. This is income producing activities. This is where I need to sit down and concentrate and make things happen. Outside of the focus blocks, you have the flex blocks. These are things that you're a little bit more flexible about. This is your email, your admin, and your learning. These are the things that come under the focus. And then under the flex is a buffer block. That's rest, reset, recharge, whatever it is that you need to do. So focus, flex, buffer, but focus is the most important one. That's when you need to get rid of your distractions. You need to really get into a rhythm of activity and produce that revenue that's going to keep you and your business going. The easiest thing to do so you don't get overwhelmed just like when we talk about in the 12-week year, we don't have a bunch of different goals. We usually have 2 to 3 goals. Same thing here. Pick your top 3 wins every day. The 3 results that will make your day a success. Look at your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then pick out those 3 wins. What do you want to get done on that particular day? Focus on it, get it done. That makes your day a success. Just like a round in boxing. If you rack up enough round wins, you're going to win the game, right? Win the match. So this keeps you focused even when things get chaotic. If you have a small list that you can really concentrate on, hone in on, and really just focus on for the entire day, if you get those done day in, day out, that continued and consistent process is going to make you a winner. Daily execution routine. This is where kind of like we hit the tire hits the pavement, so to speak. You have to win the morning. We're not talking about the Sunday preparation and the Monday mapping on Sunday. We're talking about every single day that you're going to work. If you win your mornings, you win your day. And this is the most important thing. This is how you're going to get started. This is how you come out of the gate. If you don't come out of the gate strong, energetic, aggressive, with some intensity, the rest of the day is going to fall flat as well. So understand your mornings set up the entirety of the day. You win the morning, you win the day. If you lose the morning, you lose the day. So in the morning, this is what we want to concentrate on. The AM power start for 15 to 30 minutes. Let's do this. Let's review our today's top 3. What are the top 3 things that I want to get done today that will make today a success? I want to look at my CRM for priorities. There's going to be different people in different cycles of communication, different stages. Where are they? What do I need to do? What are my priorities in my CRM? And then a little bit of mindset and focus. What result am I chasing today? So these are the things that every day for 15 minutes or so, I think 15 minutes is good for this, but if you need up to 30, take it. Review, look at your CRM, and then get your mindset and focus into a position where you are ready to go into the day. So just like we had the block, just like we had the focus and the flex and the buffer blocks, now we want to time block like a pro. So we want to block out 2-hour sprints for outreach and appointments. Now, if you find 2 hours is too much for you, break it down into smaller components. You don't want to just sit in a chair for multiple hours because that's not going to get you the results you're looking for. You want to come in energetic, intensive, aggressive for what you need to do, then back away for a few minutes. If 2 hours works, great. If an hour works, great. 45 minutes, whatever it is that you need. But understand when you're dialed in, you have to be there and 100%. And then batch. So you want to batch your tasks. That's the text, the calls, the follow-ups. You want to batch all that stuff together so you can get it all done in a meaningful and timely way. And then use some type of method. So think about when you look at your day and think about, once again, I'm going to use the boxing match as an example here. There's a 3-minute round and you have a little bit of rest. So you want to think about whatever time method is going to save you and get you into the best position for your business. So 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 45 minutes, 10, whatever it is, that's going to be personal preference for you. When you find something that works for you, don't forget it. Keep on repeating it. And then in the evening, sometimes, you're going to have things that on your calendar in the evening. Sometimes a client can't meet. Sometimes a partner can't be trained at normal business hours. So sometimes you will have activities in the evening. But the evening wrap up really consists of just an evaluation, reflection, and measurement. Celebrate your wins, even the small ones. And this is especially important for new agents that are just getting started, just getting licensed, whatever it might be. You need to teach them to celebrate the small wins. And when you do, those are stepping stones to the bigger win. Track what's unfinished and then reset calendar for the next day. So what did I get accomplished? Did I get my 3 big wins? And does anything that I didn't get done today need to reset or carry over for the next day? The wrap-up routine is going to help you build consistency, which builds confidence. And when you build confidence and you fix yourself, you can go out there and manage and fix other people. So these are the productivity tools and hacks that will help you in this introduction to getting yourself aligned with time management and productivity. These are the tools to level up. Most all of us have the Google Calendar. What you will see is that, once again, just like I told you, LinkedIn can be incredibly valuable or incredibly useless and worthless. Same thing with the Google Calendar. How are you approaching your Google Calendar? Are you color coding activity types? Are you putting things on there? Are you getting maximum use out of that calendar? Go high level. This is for follow-ups and automation, cycles of communication, marketing. And then Calendly. This is booking efficiently. These are all things, just because you set up your Calendly 6 months, a year ago, doesn't mean that you can't go back and use AI to make the descriptions better, to make the workflows better for reminders. And then some type of, whether it's Trello, Notion, for project task tracking. So if you've got projects that you have different stages of, break them down, get them into some type of a tracking so you understand what's been done, what needs to be done, and how you're going to get that accomplished. And then Focus Keeper or Pomo Focus for those timers. And so it can be as simple as just getting a timer. Press the timer for whatever it is that you're going to work, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, hour plus, whatever it is. When that's done, what's your reset time? Is it 10, 15 minutes? You're going to walk around, you're going to grab something to eat, whatever it is. The consistency of doing this, using your tools to help you along the way, will get you to the point where you start to beat yourself internally and your external competition. You want to use tools to take thinking off the plate. The more you have to think about stuff, the less effective and results oriented you're going to be. The more you automate or pre-plan, the more creative energy you save for the most important work, which is the conversations, the marketing, the consultations, whatever it is that you're doing. Your system should serve your goals, not stress you out. Start simple, then improve. You want your business to work for you and not you working for your business. Your business should be an asset. Now that asset has to be built, and that's going to take some time, energy, and resource, but ultimately you don't want to be working as a self-employed where you own a job. You want to own a business. That's what we're trying to teach you how to build here. And then one of the things that is as important as what to do is what not to do. And this is the list of time killers to watch for. Endless scrolling. If you find yourself as that person that's just scrolling, wasting time, take it off the computer, take it off the phone. I'm not saying like get rid of it entirely. I'm just saying close it off the browser, close it off the app, because what you will find is your brain loves to do whatever it is that you're doing continuously. Whether you set it on a good path or bad path, it doesn't care. It just wants to keep doing the same thing. So if you set it on a good path, great. But if you're just endlessly scrolling every day, wasting time, brain's going to be okay doing that every single day. And then another time killer is the reactionary mode. Remember, you can be proactive, going out and making things happen, or you can be reactive, waiting for things to happen. If you're only responding to others and waiting for the outside world to come to you, that's a bad leading indicator. Your business is not going to be successful. We call it the perfect plan syndrome. This is just waiting around. I'm constantly in the planning and preparation mode and stages because I'm afraid of the execution. You can't be afraid. You have to jump in, and all that perfect plan is, it's just a veiled way for you to procrastinate and not do the stuff that you probably don't want to do. And then overscheduling, just scheduling too much, where you look at your calendar and it's just a mess of stuff. Overscheduling is also a time killer. So this is also where we want to be aware and honest with ourselves. Awareness is the first defense. Be honest. What usually pulls you off track? So if you're sitting down and you're, reflecting and you're getting some, some self inventory about what's happening, awareness is the first defense. Be honest. What pulls you off track? Identifying the problem is the first step in solving the problem. As you have a to-do list, you can also create a not to-do list if needed. Now, if you don't need this, you don't need to waste your time doing this, but saying no is sometimes more powerful than saying yes. So if you need to create that not to-do list, hey, these are the things I don't need to do. If you find yourself doing those things, it's a lot easier to recognize it when you have the list. And remember, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't really exist. I'm not saying overschedule like we talked about, but if it's important and it needs to be taken care of, it needs to be on your calendar. If it's not on your calendar, it really doesn't exist. Call to action and close for the meeting today. So this is the blueprinting system. This just isn't theory. This is your blueprint. This is how you better your structure, and this is how you gain speed and get faster results. You don't have to get it perfect. Just get started. Then you refine it every week. Once again, if you're just planning, preparing, needing that perfection, That's just procrastination. So just get it started. Then week to week, you'll find, hey, this is good. This is not good. I need to refine this. And then over the course of a few weeks or a few months, you'll have a business plan, a blueprint, and a system that works for you that you can start to share with other agents. Our business moves fast, but with the right system. You'll always be in control. So the bigger you build this out, if you have these things in place, you become duplicatable. And then it doesn't matter how big the distribution gets because you have an army in place that's systematic, so you can know exactly what this agency's doing, what this agency's doing, because we're all running on the same track. Time is your most valuable asset, and we all know that. Hold on one second for you guys. Like I said, time is your most valuable asset, more than any product, more than any lead list. And once you master how to use your time, everything else in this business gets a lot easier. So what we want to do is we want to organize to optimize. Let's go win the week. So like I said, this is an introduction to what you need to do to help yourself get out of your own way and build a business that is going to work for you and your agents as well as your clients. This is how you start to get out of your own way. You create systematic approaches that include time management of what to do, what not to do, and then tier what's most important, get that done. The 3 wins out of the day, get those done each and every day, and then watch what starts happening to your business.